Today it is movie recap time for The Last House on the Left, a great thriller movie released in 2009. It begins with two police officers escorting a dangerous criminal to prison. Krug keeps asking to take a leak, but the guards simply ignore him. Suddenly, when they stop at a railway crossing, a pickup truck hits them hard from the side. Krug's brother, Francis, and Krug's girlfriend, Sadie, set the criminal free and celebrate. Sadie finishes the driver, while Krug taunts the second officer. The bad guy makes him look at pictures of his own children as the seat belt gets tighter and tighter around his neck. Elsewhere, the Collingwood family decides to have their vacation at a lakeside house. Before they depart, Mari, who is a dedicated swimmer, trains in the pool. Her mother, Emma, wants her to take a break. John, a surgeon at a nearby hospital, finishes an operation and joins his family. When they arrive at the lakeside house, the parents stay in the main house, while their daughter chooses to stay in the guest house for more privacy. Mari is mourning her brother's recent death and cherishes the gold pendant he gave her before he passed. After a quick swim in the lake, Mari asks her mother if she can meet a friend. Emma isn't happy because she wanted some quality family time, but John allows Mari to go. He gives her the car keys and some money. Mari goes to a local store where her friend Paige works as a sales clerk. A young guy named Justin buys groceries and asks for cigarettes. However, Paige refuses since he doesn't have any ID on him. Justin then suggests they ignore the age thing in exchange for some herbs he has in the place he is staying. After some thought, Paige agrees, and they all go to a nearby motel. While Mari stays in the car, Justin and Paige go to his room. After getting tired of waiting, Mari decides to check on them and catches them casually smoking a cigarette. Mari hesitates to join them but ends up smoking as well. Soon after, Emma calls Mari and asks when she will be back. Mari tells her she'll return in the morning and stay at her friend's place for the night. The girls and Justin have a fun conversation while helping him improve his looks. Suddenly, Justin's father arrives with his brother and girlfriend, which creates a big problem for him. Mari and Paige quickly realize they must escape, but Krug won't allow it. Noticing an SUV parked just outside, they soon learn that it belongs to Mari. Since Krug and Sadie's faces are all over the news, they decide to use it as their escape vehicle. Francis threatens Paige from behind, but she pushes him away and locks herself in the bathroom. She desperately tries to call for help or contact the police, but Francis breaks down the door and punishes her. He also destroys the phones of both Paige and Mari. Shortly after, everyone gets into Mari's car and leaves the motel. They spot a patrol car and drive into the forest. Krug is unsure of their next destination, so Mari suggests turning left since she knows the area better. Moments later, Mari discreetly activates the car's cigarette lighter with her foot. After it is hot enough, she grabs the cigarette lighter and hits the side of Sadie's face. This initiates a struggle that causes the vehicle to veer off the road and crash into a cliff. Francis breaks his nose upon impact, while the others suffer minor injuries. When Sadie begins punishing Mari for her lighter move, Paige grabs a wooden branch and hits her. She also takes the opportunity to escape. Francis and Sadie chase her, but Paige manages to hide in a hole. When the criminals run past, Paige goes in the opposite direction and finds an industrial plant. She calls for help, but Francis catches up to her. Despite her resistance, Paige is easily overpowered by Sadie and Francis. They restrain her and bring her back. Soon after, Krug tells Justin that it is time for him to become a man. He urges him to choose one of them. Disgusted by Krug's actions, Paige insults Krug, calling him pathetic. This angers him, and he approaches and pokes Paige in the stomach while she is bound. Francis assists him and also pokes her in the back, causing the girl to slowly perish from the wounds. Since Justin won't do it, Krug decides to do it himself. Mari does her best to fend off his advances, but unfortunately, there's not much she can do. While everyone else watches Krug commit another crime, Mari sees that her friend is gone. She also discreetly grabs a rock. When Krug finishes, Mari gets up and hits Krug on the head, quickly sprinting towards the lake to swim away. The bad guy chases her and keeps firing from far away until he finally hits Mari. Seeing that Mari has floated to the top after being shot, the group leaves, believing her life has ended. With a totaled car and now in the middle of a storm, the psychotic murderous family wanders around, trying to find a place to stay. Back at the Collingwood vacation house, Emma and John are having dinner when they hear a knock on the door. The trio and Justin are there, lying to the couple about being in a car accident. After going inside and accepting some beverages, they say they can't go to the hospital because their health insurance has expired. The family is willing to help and offer them a place to stay, but they have to wait until morning because their daughter took the car to visit a friend. When John begins taking care of Frances' injured nose, a power outage interrupts the procedure. John then goes outside to start the generator while Emma talks to Krug, trying to find out how they ended up there. Krug makes up a story about trying to create good memories for Justin, so they chose the lake area as their destination. Shortly after, John restores power and returns to stitch up Frances' nose. Emma helps by applying antiseptic to his wounds and tends to Justin, making him a cup of hot chocolate. With heavy rain outside and no working phone, John and Emma invite their guests to spend the night. Krug declines at first but accepts the offer after learning about the guest house. While everyone talks in the living room, Emma tries to call her daughter, but to no avail. Unbeknownst to her, Mari, despite being injured, is trying to make her way home. At one point, Justin asks to use the bathroom and goes to the kitchen to set down his cup. When he turns around, he sees a picture of Mari on the refrigerator and realizes they are at her parents' house. Overwhelmed with guilt, he hurries to the bathroom, feeling unwell. He then leaves Mari's pendant near the cup, which Krug took from her during the assault. Soon after, Emma leads their guests to the guest house, securing Mari's jewelry before showing them where to sleep. Frances thinks Emma is interested in him and considers spending time with her. In the meantime, Emma returns to the main house to discuss the unusual guests with her husband. Not entirely trusting the group of guests, they decide to lock the doors. At that moment, an unusual knock on the porch grabs John's attention, prompting him to investigate. Despite being in bad conditions, Mari somehow manages to make her way to the house and taps on the window using a rocking chair. Her father brings her inside and notices that she has been shot. Acting quickly, he provides immediate first aid and saves her life. John realizes the urgent necessity of cauterizing the wound and makes do with whatever resources are available. He asks his wife to fetch some alcohol for cleaning the wound and heats a knife over an open flame to cauterize the bullet's entry point. Meanwhile, Emma searches the kitchen and notices the pendant near Justin's cup. She understands that the weird family is somehow connected to the events involving her daughter. Upon examining Mari, John realizes that someone has taken advantage of her. Emma returns from the kitchen and informs her husband about their daughter's pendant in Justin's possession. The couple realizes that the family is responsible for Mari's assault, and Justin likely returned the pendant out of guilt. When Mari complains about having difficulty breathing, John turns her onto her side to drain excess fluid from her lungs. Getting Mari to the hospital is of utmost importance, but they lack a car. Their only option is to use a boat to cross the lake, but they need the keys. John then heads to the boat to search for them. At the guest house, Justin seizes the opportunity and takes the gun from the bedside table while Krug is asleep. Meanwhile, Frances goes to the main house, thinking that Emma has feelings for him. Aware that their injured daughter is on the living room table, Emma does her best to keep her hidden. She flirts with Frances and mentions that her husband is upstairs sleeping after drinking too much. Emma engages in emotional conversations and offers him wine, doing everything she can to divert his attention. Worried about the photo on the fridge exposing her, Emma quickly hides the photo as she grabs a bottle of wine. Despite John's thorough search, he fails to find the boat keys. Realizing he needs to go back, he looks for tools to defend themselves against the criminals. Eventually, Frances comes out of the kitchen and sees the injured daughter on the living room table. Emma then swiftly smashes a wine bottle on Frances's head, but it barely stuns him. Desperate to defend herself, she pokes him with a knife, but Frances keeps attacking. Just then, John returns to the house and sees his wife fighting for her life. He smartly attacks Frances' nose and breaks it again. Soon after, he attempts to drown Frances in the kitchen sink, but the guy manages to remove the sink plug. John then activates the garbage disposal unit, causing massive damage to Frances's hand. The doctor puts an end to his screams by hitting him with the pointy side of a mighty hammer. After finishing Frances, the couple decides to go after the remaining guests, so they head to the other house. Armed with a knife and a poker, John and Emma sneak into Krug's bedroom and find Justin holding his father's gun. Justin hands John the weapon and allows him to finish his own father. However, John is noisy when handling the gun, so Sadie wakes up. The doctor immediately shoots her, and Krug dodges to the side. They start struggling, and Krug escapes by jumping out of the window and running to the main house. On the other hand, Sadie locks herself in the bathroom, but John manages to kick down the door. She defends herself from his attacks and nearly overcomes both the surgeon and Justin. Suddenly, Emma ends the fight by hitting Sadie in the eye. In the meantime, Krug explores the main house and discovers Mari's clothes, realizing that she is their daughter. He walks into the kitchen and finds his brother's lifeless body. While Justin helps Emma find the keys to the boat, John returns to the house to confront Krug. Using clever tactics, he lures the surgeon to the second floor and distracts him with sounds. At one point, Krug enters one of the bedrooms and sees that the family is preparing to escape by boat. John courageously enters the room and notices the open window. He assumes that the criminal has jumped out, unaware that he is hiding. Krug then steps in and initiates another struggle. The bad guy eventually overpowers John and taunts him, talking about what he did to his daughter. As John lies down and Krug brags about himself, the doctor notices the boat keys in a champagne glass. When Krug is about to end John's life, he is surprised to be confronted by Justin, who places a gun against the back of his head. The father expresses displeasure at his son's newfound courage at such an inconvenient moment and continues to bully him. Justin pulls the trigger, but the gun has no ammo. Krug realizes this and pins his son against the wall, striking him in the stomach with the fire poker. Just in time, Emma returns to the house and hits Krug with a fire extinguisher. The couple then attacks the criminal from both sides, rendering him unconscious. At dawn, the injured family and Justin sail on a boat to get medical help. Some time later, the surgeon returns to the house to deal with the final villain. Since there is no duct tape or rope available, John uses a knife to make incisions on Krug's body, paralyzing him from the neck down. The surgeon sarcastically assures him that everything will be fine. Using a microwave oven he repaired the previous day, John places Krug's head inside it, activating the appliance. The criminal screams in pain, and his life comes to an end as his head turns into lots of small pieces. Thanks for watching. If you like our content, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe.